Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest battle you will ever fight is not against another man or woman, nor against the world outside. It is the battle within yourself. For until you conquer the enemy within, the world will forever defeat you. You see, success does not begin on the outside. It begins the moment you look in the mirror and decide who you must become. The truth is simple yet rarely understood. The man or woman who masters themselves masters their destiny. Self-mastery is not a gift. It is a discipline. It is forged in silence, away from applause, when no one is watching and you have every reason to quit. It is the ability to command your thoughts when they try to betray you, to discipline your habits when comfort whispers your name, and to rise in the dark while others are still dreaming. Hard work is not just an action, it is a law. Just as gravity pulls without exception, hard work pays without apology. Those who worship talent often wonder why they fall behind. Those who depend on luck never see it arrive. But those who grind, who sweat, who commit, day after day, long after the feeling has faded, become the architects of their own success. There is a power in work. Real, focused, consistent effort that most people never tap into because they are searching for shortcuts. But shortcuts cut character. They rob you of the strength built through the process. Every hour you invest in your growth becomes a seed planted in the soil of your future. And let me assure you, that soil remembers every seed. It never forgets. People talk about motivation as if it's magic, but the truth is, motivation comes after action, not before. You must first decide. Decide to train your mind like a warrior. Decide to sacrifice what is easy for what is right. Decide to live each day as a vote for your future self. And when you do, something shifts. You stop reacting to life and you begin creating it. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. You rise by repeatedly doing what average people refuse to do. You rise by mastering your emotions, managing your time, and moving with purpose. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Every master was once a beginner. Every expert was once a fool fumbling in the dark. The difference was, they stayed in the fight. They didn't let failure define them. They used it as fuel. They learned, they adjusted, and they kept going. So, ask yourself right now, who do I need to become to live the life I dream of? What habits must I adopt? What excuses must I destroy? What pain must I embrace? Because success, real success, is not found in the applause. It's found in the unseen hours. It's built in silence, and it is reserved for those who dare to master themselves. Master yourself. Master your success. The world will not hand it to you, but it will step aside for the one who has earned it. And the one who has earned it is the one who worked relentlessly, fearlessly, and faithfully. Here are 6 powerful points drawn from the speech. Self-mastery is the foundation of success. True success begins with mastering your thoughts, habits, and emotions. Only then can you take control of your future. Hard work is a universal law. Talent and luck may give you a start, but consistent, focused effort is what builds lasting success. There are no shortcuts to greatness. Shortcuts weaken character. The struggle and process are necessary to develop strength and resilience. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. You must first take action with discipline and intention. Motivation will follow as a result of progress. Success is built in silence. Real progress happens away from the spotlight, in quiet moments of sacrifice and persistence. You must choose to rise. Success is not accidental. It's a daily decision to act with purpose, embrace discomfort, and outwork the average. The idea that self-mastery is the foundation of success is both profound and transformative. It means that before you can conquer goals, acquire wealth, or influence the world, you must first conquer yourself. Every achievement you see on the outside is a reflection of discipline, mindset, and personal control developed on the inside. Many people chase success through external means, money, fame, connections, believing that if they can manipulate their outer circumstances, they'll find happiness or fulfillment. But history and experience reveal a different truth. No lasting success can be built on a weak internal foundation. Self-mastery begins with awareness. You must know your strengths, but more importantly, you must be honest about your weaknesses. Are you easily distracted? Do you procrastinate? Are your emotions driving your decisions? Until you take control of these internal forces, you'll constantly sabotage your own progress. The person who cannot govern their own thoughts or discipline their actions will be like a ship without a rudder, drifting, reacting, and hoping for favorable winds. When you master yourself, you create a mental and emotional state that is unshakable. You're not ruled by fear, doubt, or impulse. Instead, you become intentional with your time, focused in your energy, and consistent in your behavior. That consistency compounds. Over time, the small choices you make, waking up early, studying instead of scrolling, persisting when others quit, accumulate into massive results. But none of it happens if you don't first win the war inside. This level of mastery requires discipline, and discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being committed. It's about making decisions that align with your vision, not your feelings. Feelings fluctuate, but vision must stay steady. When you train yourself to act based on purpose rather than emotion, you become powerful in ways most people never experience. Another key element is responsibility. Self-mastery means you no longer blame others for your situation. You recognize that your life is a product of your choices. That's not always comfortable, but it's empowering. It means you have the ability to change, to grow, to rise, regardless of your background or current circumstances. Mastering yourself doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily effort, a constant process of refinement. But once you begin, you unlock a force far greater than luck or talent. You become someone who doesn't just chase success, you attract it. Because the world bows to those who lead themselves first. Hard work is not just a suggestion on the path to success. It is an unbreakable law. Just like gravity pulls objects to the ground without exception, hard work delivers results to those who apply it, regardless of background, talent, or timing. It's one of the few things in life that guarantees a return if you remain consistent. People often overestimate the role of talent and underestimate the power of relentless effort. While talent may open the door, only hard work keeps it open. Hard work builds character. It forces you to face your limitations and grow past them. It teaches resilience, focus, and patience. When you push yourself beyond what's comfortable, you discover new strength and capability within you. This is something that cannot be taught in a book or inherited. It must be earned. And once earned, it becomes a permanent part of who you are. The world is filled with people who had potential but never activated it through effort. Potential is wasted without work. Dreams remain ideas unless fueled by action. Some people wait for inspiration. Others wait for the right time. But the truth is, success belongs to those who show up daily, even when they don't feel like it. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is not always intelligence or opportunity. It's persistence through effort. What makes hard work so powerful is that it compounds. Every day you stay disciplined and consistent, you add a brick to the foundation of your future. You may not see the results immediately, but the structure is being built. The invisible work becomes visible over time. People will call it luck when they finally see your success, but you'll know it was the result of hundreds of quiet, committed days. Hard work also separates you from the crowd. In a world full of distractions, excuses, and shortcuts, being the one who shows up early, stays late, and gives full effort is rare. And what is rare becomes valuable. Employers notice it, clients respect it, and most importantly, you begin to respect yourself because you know you earned everything you have. There is a quiet confidence that comes with working hard. It's not arrogance. It's certainty. You know that no matter what challenges come, you have the strength to overcome them because you've already fought battles most people avoid. Hard work doesn't just lead to success, it transforms you into the kind of person who can sustain it. In the pursuit of success, one of the most dangerous illusions is the belief in shortcuts. Everyone wants to get there faster, whether it's building wealth, achieving influence, or fulfilling a dream. But what most fail to realize is that shortcuts don't save time. They steal growth. They cut corners, and more importantly, they cut character. There is no greatness without the grind, no mastery without the struggle. What you try to skip today, you'll pay for tomorrow. Shortcuts often appear tempting because they promise easy wins. Maybe it's copying someone else's path, avoiding the uncomfortable work, or chasing quick fame without building a solid foundation. But what's gained without effort is lost without regret. The process, with all its pain and pressure, is not your enemy, it's your trainer. It is through repetition, failure, correction, and discipline that you become strong enough to not just reach success, but to carry the weight of it. The struggle builds mental toughness. Every challenge you overcome sharpens your thinking, expands your patience, and builds the endurance necessary to thrive under pressure. People who rely on shortcuts often crumble when adversity comes because they never trained in discomfort. They may have reached a destination, but they are not equipped to stay there. The higher you go, the stronger your foundation must be, and shortcuts weaken the ground beneath your feet. True success demands that you respect the process. It's in the late nights when no one is watching, the hours spent learning a skill, the rejections you turn into lessons, that real transformation takes place. These are not detours, they are the way. And the beautiful truth is that the person you become in the process is always more valuable than the outcome you're chasing. People who avoid shortcuts understand something deeper. Time invested in growth is never wasted. While others are sprinting toward temporary wins, they are building something that lasts. They know the reward isn't just what they get, but who they become. So don't be fooled by fast results. Don't envy the overnight success, because what comes quick often fades just as fast. Instead, fall in love with the process. Respect the climb. Trust that the pain of doing it right now will produce a strength that will never leave you. The process may be slower, but it's real. And what is real cannot be shaken because it was built, not borrowed. One of the most misunderstood truths about success is that motivation is not the starting point, it is the result. People often sit back waiting for a burst of inspiration to strike, hoping they'll feel ready before they begin. But the reality is, waiting for motivation is like waiting for perfect weather to plant seeds. It might never come. Action is what creates motivation, not the other way around. The moment you take even a small step forward, you begin to build momentum. That momentum generates energy, and that energy turns into drive. It's when you start moving, when you begin doing the work, especially when you don't feel like it, that your mind and body start to align with your goals. You feel motivated because you see progress, no matter how small. That sense of progress is what fuels passion, discipline, and focus. This is why the most successful people in the world don't depend on fleeting feelings. They understand that emotions are inconsistent. One day you're excited, the next you're tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. If your actions depend on how you feel, your progress will always be inconsistent. But when you commit to action first, when you decide to show up regardless of mood, you begin to build discipline. And discipline is far more powerful than motivation. Discipline creates habits, and habits shape your future. When you take consistent action, even when it's uncomfortable, your brain starts to rewire itself to expect growth, to crave progress. And suddenly, what once felt hard becomes your new normal. What was once resisted becomes routine. You also begin to trust yourself. Every time you keep a promise to act despite your feelings, you build inner strength. You prove to yourself that you're serious, that you're dependable, that you can count on your own will. That self-trust is the quiet confidence that replaces the need for external motivation. People who wait to feel ready rarely accomplish much. But those who act, who start while afraid, confused, or uncertain, often go further than they ever imagined, because the act of doing sharpens the mind and strengthens the will. So don't ask, do I feel like it today? Instead, ask, what does my future demand from me right now? Then move, begin, take the step. Because when you act first, motivation follows. And when motivation follows action, you are no longer a prisoner of emotion. You become the master of it. Success is not born in the spotlight. It is born in the shadows. The real work, the transformative work, happens in silence, when no one is watching, no one is applauding, and no one is validating your effort. In those quiet moments, when it's just you, your vision, and your discipline, that's where your future is being built. This is why success is often misunderstood by those who only see the results. They see the stage, the recognition, the reward, but they never saw the lonely hours, the sacrifices, or the relentless grind. In a world obsessed with visibility, it's easy to believe that progress only matters if it's posted, shared, or praised. But the truth is, the most meaningful growth happens privately. It's the late nights you spend learning, the early mornings you spend planning, and the countless times you push yourself beyond comfort without needing approval. That's where champions are formed. Working in silence teaches you something most people never learn: self-conviction. When you're not depending on applause, you discover the power of internal motivation. You do it because it matters. You show up because your purpose calls you, not because someone is watching. And that level of integrity, of doing the right thing when it's invisible, is what separates those who merely wish for success from those who become worthy of it. Silence also strengthens focus. When you're not distracted by outside noise, you can lock in on your goals with clarity and consistency. You're not comparing your journey to anyone else's. You're not chasing trends or trying to impress the world. You're building something authentic, something lasting, step by step, brick by brick. And then, one day, the results become too big to ignore. What was once hidden becomes undeniable. People will call it sudden. They'll say you came out of nowhere. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't sudden. It was silent. It was steady. It was intentional. That's the paradox of success. The louder the victory, the quieter the preparation. So don't be discouraged when no one sees your effort. Don't crave attention. Crave mastery. Crave growth. Crave the strength that comes from knowing you've done the work even when no one was looking. Because the silent work you do today becomes the loud legacy you leave tomorrow. And those who are willing to build in the dark will always shine the brightest when the light comes. Success is not something that randomly happens to a lucky few. It is something you choose every single day. Rising to your full potential is not an accident. It is a decision, a commitment, and a daily practice. You must choose to rise, not once, but repeatedly, especially when life gives you every reason to stay down. It's in the moments when quitting looks easiest that choosing to rise becomes the most powerful move you can make. This choice is not a dramatic one-time declaration. It's found in the small daily actions. Waking up early when your body wants more sleep. Staying focused when distractions call your name. Pushing through failure when it would be easier to blame someone or give up. These actions may seem small in the moment, but they add up. Every time you choose growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, discipline over distraction, you are rising. The truth is, very few people are willing to make that choice consistently. Many want success, but they don't want to pay the price. They wish, they hope, they talk, but they don't move. Those who do rise understand something critical. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret is permanent. And nothing is more painful than looking back and knowing you had the power to rise, but didn't. Choosing to rise also means taking full responsibility, no excuses, no blaming your past, your circumstances, or other people. It's about owning your path. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond. The person who rises is the one who says, "This challenge will not define me, it will refine me." This mindset separates the average from the exceptional, because while the average person waits for the perfect moment, the exceptional person creates it. They don't wait to feel ready, they act ready, and in doing so, they become ready. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need approval, applause, or validation. You need a decision that says, no matter what comes my way, I will move forward. Because success doesn't respond to wishes, it responds to will. And the most powerful truth of all, the more you choose to rise, the easier it becomes. What once felt impossible becomes your new normal. And soon you realize you're no longer chasing success. You've become the kind of person who attracts it. All because, in the face of resistance, you chose to rise. The core message of this speech is simple yet life-altering. Mastery of self is the key to mastery of success. Until you take control of your thoughts, habits, emotions, and actions, true success will remain out of reach. Hard work is not optional. It's the engine that drives transformation. There are no shortcuts to greatness. The process is the path. Real progress happens in silence, far from the spotlight, where character is built and strength is forged. Motivation is not the beginning, it's the reward of consistent action. The people who succeed are those who act first, feel later, and keep going regardless of how they feel. And above all, success is a choice you must make daily. You must choose to rise, to move, to become more, even when no one notices and nothing feels easy. In the end, the world does not reward wishers or watchers. It rewards the doers, the ones who master themselves, work relentlessly, grow through the process, and build in silence. If you become that person, success will not be a question of if, but when. You won't just chase greatness, you'll become it.